Top 5 Turin Shroud proofs. Five, the image. The image is incredibly superficial and is a negative. It's only found on the top fibrils and is measured in microns. If any liquids or chemicals were used, any liquids would soak through the fibrils. So this would rule out all the causes for this image, such as paint, chemicals, dyes, oil, bodily fluids, decomposition, acid, powders and heat. None of these created the image. So what did create the image? The image is also a negative to the naked eye. That becomes a positive. This was found out by Seconda Pia in the 1800s. The image is like a dotted image of the same tone. Each fibril that's damaged and discoloured is like a dot.
This film is about one of the most mysterious artifacts you are ever likely to encounter.
The markings on this image are so clear and so medically accurate that the pathological facts which they reflect concerning the suffering and death of the man depicted here are, in my opinion, beyond dispute.
I can tell you, it's very difficult to do justice to the way it strikes the naked eye.
An eminent Swiss criminologist had found pollens from Palestine and Turkey on the cloth.
When we first walked into the room, it took a while just to focus on it. The Bible tells us that it was a rich man, Joseph of Arimathea, who bought the cloth. Multiple centuries on, it still has a fine sheen to it. We're approaching the 2000th anniversary of the crucifixion, and what Christians believe to be the defining and, frankly, mind-blowing event of their faith, the resurrection of Jesus. Would it not be entirely consistent with the sort of down-to-earth nature of his two core messages that something as simple as a linen cloth might be a time capsule bearing enough data, to use a modern term, for us to witness that miracle for ourselves? That is the question before us, because we do now have the technology to read that data. For example, a simple flick of a switch reveals the 3D encoding over the whole body.
Then I check the history of what happened in Galilee. Check what the scientists are proudly proving. New evidence found in the Shroud of Turin. And Christ's resurrection I thought could be written off. Funny how that all changed cause of a linen cloth. Supernatural image, there's never been a copy. Experts in physics said it came from the body. Extreme radiation from a man laying lifeless because...
To create such a complex dotted image such as this, you'd need to be as small as Ant-Man and use something smaller than an hair follicle. It's unlike a dotted image like this and far more smaller and complex, that you're only able to see the dots in the shroud. It would have to be done in negative too. Without going through more than 0.2 microns into the fibrils, which is practically impossible. Then just to make things even more difficult, it would have to have holographic 3D properties of an anatomically perfect human form.
Now we'll put a picture of the shroud under the camera.
This is what I had sensed but not been able to put my finger on when I first saw the negative images of the shroud. The intensity of the image falls off depending on the distance it appears to be from the surface of the cloth.
Interestingly, The image was also described during the first millennia, it seems. In 544 AD, an historian by the name of Evagrius Scholasticus recounts how an image is not made by human hands, which saved the city of Edessa from a siege. In 544 AD, it arrives in Constantinople. In this place, Simeon Magister recounts the emperor's two sons, upon viewing the image, could see nothing but a faint face. During this time, Archdeacon of Hagia Sophia said, taking this linen, he wiped his sweat on it. So you can understand why people in the past could not explain this image. Today we know sweat or any liquid or photolight, no sun bleaching, can cause the same properties. So what can cause all these three? Real 3D depth, molecular change in the fibrils of the image, and equal tone and change, only darker areas by the amount of dots there are. There's only one thing left that can, and that's radiation.
Religion was a tool of the system, and anyone can see through it with a bit of wisdom. So now what's different? Wise Cape's a Christian, looked up the facts and separated fiction. I used to believe the Jesus myth theory, checked out the claims, was reading sincerely. The theory is false, but I was backing it happily. Then I checked the history of what happened in Galilee, checked what the scientists are proudly proving. New evidence found in the Shroud of Turin, and Christ's resurrection I thought could be written off. Funny how that all changed cause of a linen cloth. Supernatural image, there's never been a copy. Experts in physics said it came from the body. Extreme radiation from a man laying lifeless. Because of this, if we abide in him, we're staying righteous. They said it was a fake, that would take a lot of magic. Did I mention that the whole image on it's holographic? But in 88 they dated it as medieval, said it was a forgery that fooled many people. But since then they proved it was due to the cotton that was mixed there to repair tears at the bottom. The facts are the facts, no use disputing them. All the evidence links to ancient Jerusalem, straight back to the 1st century specifically, with many different links analysed scientifically. Still some people wanna say that they faked it. No technology exists that can make it. It's not created by human hands. The picture of a message to sweep through the land, it's literally covered in the real blood of Christ, and that's what it took to give you another life. They say the Shroud's history is clouded in mystery, but it's really not if you look at it scientifically. When you know the truth, it's easy to never doubt. But there's some people that don't want the truth getting out. They even paid $1 million for them to say it's forged. Said it was a painting and some said a scorch, but it's the rapid aging of the fibers from a light that came from the body that I know to be Christ. Cause no other person was both scourged and crucified, no legs broken with a spear to the side, and no one else wore the crown of thorns heeded. Still to this day the image can't be repeated. Not a single theory includes all of the evidence except for the one in the Gospels that is heaven sent. Not a single theory includes all of the evidence except for the one in the Gospel that is heaven sent.